Talking about the ghetto. Funky ghetto. Trying to survive, trying to stay alive. The ghetto. The ghetto. Talking about the ghetto.
Welcome to the Militant Negro YouTube channel. My name is JB, and I want to talk to you this evening about fear. I'm going to take off my militant mask and speak to you as a human being who inhabits this planet Earth. We have a lot of fear-mongering going on right now, and it's scary in itself how human beings have gravitated toward this fear. We have mainstream media telling us that a Donald Trump presidency will bring about the apocalypse for the United States. We have people who are not mainstream media, but just the average Joe, like you and I, the average person who has access to social media and YouTube, and maybe even has a blog out there spreading fear about all the things that are going to happen when Donald Trump takes the oath of office. Let me be clear about something. I am not a Donald Trump fan. I am not a Donald Trump supporter. I did not vote for him, nor did I like his campaign rhetoric and his divisive tactics that he used during the campaign. But the man won the Electoral College vote, which makes him the president-elect. Now, we don't have to like that, but we do have to accept it because there's nothing else you can do except what I see a lot of misguided, misinformed, lost souls doing right now. Going out into the street, spreading innuendo, rumors, misinformation, and sometimes just flat out lies because it makes them feel better. Now, I know that people don't like Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump. But Donald Trump won the election, which for the last, I don't know how many centuries, has been the process in place for choosing a president. You don't like the Electoral College? You would rather have the popular vote be what is considered and what is the final say-so when it comes to electing a president? Then you people who are upset need to work to change that. That is how you do things. You work to make a change if you don't like the way something is going. But taking to the streets and screaming and hollering and protesting and getting yourselves arrested, pepper sprayed, shot with rubber bullets, detained, assaulted, booked, getting records over this is stupid. It is just plain stupid. But what's even more stupid is the fact that you're doing all these things based on what the media is feeding you. This is the same media who tried to force feed you Hillary Clinton, a murderous, genocidal maniac, a racist, an evil woman. And the media wanted her to be the president-elect. And because she failed at beating Donald Trump, now the media wants you to take to the streets and revolt. They want you to have an uprising, aka Birth of a Nation style uprising. But my question to you people who are upset and afraid and pissed off and concerned, why didn't they want all these types of actions from you when people of color were being executed in the street by cops? Why didn't the media want this type of response from the public in America when Standing Rock Sioux's tribal lands and sacred burial grounds were being desecrated by the North Dakota Access Pipeline companies? Why is it that the media has chosen the election of Donald Trump to try to ignite fear in people? Ask yourself that question. We all need to relax, take a step back, sit down, and see what the future brings, because none of us has a crystal ball. None of us can tell the future. We can't predict things. If we could, we would have known Donald Trump was going to win. But nobody knew that. So that gives you an indication that your prediction quality and ability is null and void. It doesn't exist. All these things I'm hearing people say on social media. Donald Trump is going to repeal all the lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual advances that we've made. They're going to take all the rights away from the gay people. Gay marriage is going to be gone. Well, here's a little bit of a hint about how legislation and bills work in America. Donald Trump can only do one thing when a bill comes to his desk: sign it or veto it. Donald Trump doesn't make laws. Donald Trump doesn't put a law on the floor before the Congress or the Senate. Donald Trump is not on the Supreme Court to make a decision to strike down anything. So if you want to focus on who can take away rights that Obama gave us, if you want to put your attention toward who might be responsible for repealing things that you have gained in the last 8 years, you have to look toward your congressmen and your senators and your Supreme Court. And the people on the Supreme Court were not appointed by Donald Trump. Now, it's true, he may get the opportunity, if the Congress and Senate give him that opportunity, to choose a Supreme Court judge. He might get that chance. And he's probably going to appoint someone he likes, that supports his views. But there are still other members on the Supreme Court, liberal and conservative, both. So whoever Donald Trump appoints to the Supreme Court is not going to make that much of a difference, because there are other judges present who have voted to pass those legislative measures for the gay community. Only one judge is being replaced, and that's the one who died, Scalia. And he was a conservative. So if you replace him with another conservative, that doesn't swing anything in the Supreme Court. It's still the same balance it was before Scalia died and before Barack Obama left office. But you're not thinking clearly about these issues and about these facts. You're being swayed by the media. And this is the problem in America. American media and journalists are not giving you facts and information and truth. They're giving you spin. They're telling you what they want you to know to elicit an action that they desire. And we are letting this happen. People are going into the street to protest a president-elect who has not spent one day in office. Nobody knows what Donald Trump is going to do when he takes the oath of office. Nobody. I doubt even Donald Trump knows. Because again, he's waiting on instructions from the powers that be. Donald Trump is a figurehead, and I keep saying this, and nobody seems to listen. You worried about laws being repealed. You worried about things changing. If you can think back to Obama's days as president, how many times was Obamacare attempted to be repealed by the Senate and the Congress? How many times has the Senate and Congress blocked any and everything that Barack Obama attempted to do? Well, now you have a Republican Senate and Congress, along with a Republican president. So let's think about that for a second. Maybe some of these things that America needed to get done will now get done, since there is no obstruction that is going to go on, because all these Republicans are supposed to be on the same page. Now, infrastructure needs to be repaired. Trump says he's going to work on that right away. But instead of focusing on anything positive that Donald Trump has said, we focus on the negative things we are assuming, because we don't know for sure what is going to happen in the next 100 days. Since people want to use the first 100 days as a measuring stick, You are worried about things being repealed. The lesbian, gay, transgendered, bisexual community is all up in arms because they think the second Donald Trump and Mike Pence walk into the White House, they're going to start removing all the benefits and all the legislation that is positive for that community. And again, it does not work that way. You can't go in as president or vice president and strike down laws that the previous president put in place because there is a process. Legislation comes to the floor of the Senate and the Congress, has to pass. Legislation then goes to the president's desk, has to sign it. And if you don't like all that, then you go to the Supreme Court and you challenge it, which is how you got those legislation and bills in your favor in the first place. And the Supreme Court, with a new appointee who will probably be conservative, will still be the same number of people for and against things that was before Scalia died and while Obama was in office. You're not gaining 5 new Supreme Court seats that are going to swing anything toward the conservatives. Nobody is thinking right now. Everybody is upset and confused and scared because they're being told you better be upset and concerned and scared. Fear is the buzzword right now. Fear. All these people that fear a Trump presidency are being told you're right to do that by the media. You have expert pundits, you have moderators and show hosts all saying the same bullshit. I used to like Rachel Maddow, but Rachel Maddow has turned into be a stupid person. She blames third-party voting on why Hillary Clinton lost, instead of being honest with you and saying Hillary Clinton lost because people discovered she's a liar, she's evil, she's racist, she has committed mass murder, and she's sneaky. Nobody said that about Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump was the bad guy in these election campaigns leading up to Tuesday, November 8th. Donald Trump was the bad guy, while Hillary Clinton was looked upon as a savior with a uterus. So many Negroes voted for Hillary Clinton after she called their babies super predators. I don't understand how you can do that. Hillary Clinton grabbed a bunch of mothers who lost their children to executions by cops on stage, and these black Negro mothers hugged her and gave her their support, forgetting that she called those same children super predators, and that her and her husband put in place mass incarceration and school to prison pipeline, all her work. Her and her husband, that's their legacy. And yet still Negroes flock to the polls to vote for her. And then you got people like Rachel Maddow and a few others that I can't name right now, who are placing the blame for Hillary losing this election on third-party voting. That makes no sense to anybody, because if the third party was going to have an impact, I think the third party candidates would have better showing at the polls, better election results. They did not. Donald Trump won because he appealed to his base voters, Caucasian males. Whether they be racist or not doesn't matter, because they live in America, they got a right to vote, just like you and I do. You can't be pissed off and upset because your candidate did not win. And to be quite honest, I'm glad Hillary Clinton did not win, because she would be 20 times worse than Donald Trump. If you think Hillary Clinton would not try to repeal some of the things that Barack Obama put in place, you're blind. People are screaming that Donald Trump is going to grant access to the North Dakota pipeline businesses to build their pipeline and desecrate native land. If you think Hillary Clinton was not going to do the same thing once she got in office, you're crazy. All these presidents are billionaires, and they are backed by billionaire corporations. Donald Trump has stock in some of the companies who are trying to build this pipeline. You want to bet Hillary Clinton doesn't have that as well? Think about it. These people are billionaires. They're wealthy. Of course they're going to invest in things that make money. So all this fear about Donald Trump doing this and Donald Trump doing that, Hillary Clinton was going to do the same exact thing because it's in her best interest to do so. The same people who want this pipeline pushed through under Trump would have wanted it pushed through under Hillary Clinton. You have to understand, people, nothing has changed and nothing is going to change. It's status quo. That's what keeps America going. You're scared, you're upset, you're pissed off and disgusted, disappointed. That's because you're being told that's what you should be. Nobody except me is telling you you are being used by the media, used by the people who want a race war to start. You're being manipulated by people with billions of dollars to gain from all the things you're doing right now. This is all about money and finance and economic dominance. Nobody really cares who are in that 1% that you're upset. They don't care that you are in the street protesting. They want a response that gives their agenda precedence over everything else. And we as Americans, you as Americans, are doing just that. The media is reporting every single minute about all the uproar, protests, unrest, fights, police shootings. All this stuff is in the news. It's everywhere. And you know what's not anywhere right now? North Dakota Access Pipeline protest. The water protectors and the Standing Rock Sioux are on the back page right now because all that BS you guys are doing in the street is on the front page. That is by design. Listen to what I'm telling you because I'm speaking the truth and facts here. You have to wake up and understand the fear you feel is not real fear. Donald Trump is not capable of doing anything he wants to do without a whole consortium of people agreeing to it. And that just does not happen in American politics. The Supreme Court is not going to repeal all the laws Obama passed. Donald Trump doesn't have the power or the knowledge to do that. The Senate and the Congress are what you have to focus on. While we were quietly bitching and moaning about Donald Trump winning the presidential election, the Senate and Congress turned Republican. Did you know that? Did you know the Democrats lost both houses? So now if you want to be fearful about something, let's be fearful about what's real. The real fear here is that the Senate and the Congress are run by the GOP, the conservatives, the Republicans. That's something for you to focus on, not on Donald Trump being president-elect. Because I'm going to say it one last time. Trump is a figurehead. The people behind him, the real power of America, are who pulls his strings. Wake up, people. Get educated. Get knowledgeable about what's going on. Stop acting crazy and stupid and juvenile. You want to protest something? Get out in the street and protest people of color genocide by rogue law enforcement. You want to protest something? Stand beside the Standing Rock Sioux and the water protectors in North Dakota. Give them your support. You want to get out there and make your voices heard? Make them heard for something that is real. When they took away your voting rights and gave you all these voter fraud, voter ID things, nobody was out protesting that. Understand this, people. We have the power to make change. We just have to know how to use that power, when to use that power, and how to use that power. Stop being fooled and manipulated. Stop being a tool and a puppet for the media and for the corporate bigwigs. Start to think. Use your brains. Donald Trump is the president-elect. You're not going to change that. No matter who tells you you can. You cannot change that. The United States of America has options and is ready for revolt in the streets of this type. You think you've seen militarized police? You ain't seen nothing yet. Stop putting yourselves in danger. November is here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Stay safe. Be well. And let's use our brains, people. That's what they're for. Use them. Don't be foolish. Namaste.